Hey guys, Moss here. Hope you're doing well. Go ahead and get comfortable, get situated. We'll start in just a few seconds here. We're just waiting for people to join us, log in. So, again, go ahead and get comfortable, get situated. You don't have to watch me. I got three different systems set up, so it just takes me a few minutes. Plus, we're just waiting for people to join in. Alrighty, so this should be fun. A lot of good things happening for us. There we go. That's good. Alrighty. So, again, thanks for coming out. This is Moss on Sundays. So cheers. It's just mineral water. So what we'll do, this first half is about reading people, scanning people, analyzing to see, say, where you are, how, what's going on with you, through the abilities that I've had through tuning your deaths. Again, a lot of new people. Morning, guys. Uh, and then the second half will be on relationships. It's relationships here on Moss on Sundays. Especially with COVID, everybody's jam packed into, small spaces, how relationships work. How do I keep him or her? Or why do I want to keep him and her if it's that hard? All those things that we want. And then the science behind it all. So again, we'll just jump right in. What we'll do with for Instagram, and I'll talk about this since there's going to be more people. It looks like they're joining, so we'll just do it all at once. All right. This one is on YouTube. Hi, Moss. Can you please scan me? This is Vicky Alcott. Sure. And by the way, the way my abilities work, I don't need a picture. I don't need your real name. I could use your handle, whatever it is. It doesn't matter because it's the frequencies in how, say, you wrote something. And it sounds really strange, right? Well, it's through a computer. Well, you generate frequencies no matter what you do, no matter what it is. You can't fake it. It's kind of like an IP address. Right? You can change the handle name, but where that came from, where that generated from is your computer or your phone. So just think of that. So that location is basically what I tap into, or in computer terms, your IP address. Okay. Let's give me 1 second here. Alrighty. So for you, where was it? So sorry. Amy. No, wait. Was it Amy? Sorry, guys. No, I forgot her name. Here it is. Just give me 1 second, guys. So, and I lost her. So we'll just scan another one as I scan through. This is Paget KG. Can you please scan my progress? Thank you. So yes, for you, hon, it seems like what you're going through. Okay, so this one was Vicky Alcott. There we go. So for Vicky Alcott Hamas, please scan me, and then we'll go to Paget KG. Okay. So for Vicky, for you, what's happening is that you are getting, say, pushed to realize that your relationships or how you see yourself in relationships uh, really well. Uh, let's just say your relationships don't handle you the best. You know, you might be the support person. You might do everything that you can in a relationship, but then you're always blamed. It's that kind of feel, or you don't feel complete because as you support other people, whether it's your kids or if you have kids too, I think you have kids, yeah, or your partner or your ex-partner, or it's a sense of separation, and that sense of separation is always there. So it's not necessarily say partners that are with you. It's just that the way you render yourself allows you to basically say suffocate, or get constricted, and then from there, well, it's like, well, it's them. I have to get away type feel, and so it's partners or jobs or whatever. But in this situation, it's more like you feel like you're compressed, and it might not be a partner. It could be family values or family people around you, or it could be people who are in deep stress. They'll come to you as well. So it's a factor of all, but the key is that they compress you. Okay, their issues basically compress you. So for you, Vicky, helping you get rid of that, and you're starting to notice that anyway with the work that you're doing with XI. You're starting to notice like, shit, that's a lot of pressure on my chest, on my shoulders. The front part of your shoulders, and even in your face when there's tension. So starting to notice that, because in the past they would all come into you. Now it's like, wait a second, what's that pressure? Because it's not pushing into you. It's just it's pushing on you, but it's not penetrating you. So in this session, quick session, just pushing it a little even farther. So it's not even hitting you. It's like, say, this far out. And you can see the intensities. By the way, as I work on one individual, I'll be working on the rest of you, especially if you have similar issues. Okay? This one is Paget KG. Can you please scan my progress? Yeah, you're doing really well. You're becoming aware, kind of like Vicky before. A lot of, say, frequencies coming into you. You have higher abilities, though, because it's not just, say, frequencies, not just frequencies of physical form, pushing into you, but then also, if you want to call it presences around you, or as I call it, presences that don't exist in this reality, because they vibrate differently. So at a higher level, so you have a lot of pressure there. So maybe back in the day, when you were younger, Paget, you used to sense things around you, right? Or have imaginary friends or fantasy world and so on like that. Those things that you say escaped into were actually real, and now, well, now what's happening for you is that they're caving in on you as well, because the intensity of this reality, we're ascending higher, we're becoming more transparent, so so we're becoming more fluid, so to speak, less dense. So many of you are feeling, say, the inadequacies of your frequencies, or how you generate yourself, inconsistencies. You can't hide, say, anything in this reality. Okay, the bigger version of that, obviously, is what we're seeing. A lot of child abuse patterns, all those things that things were squelched under. No media, no deep state, no whatever. They can't hide from that stuff. All that shit has to come out, whether it's at and everybody's happy, right? The government, everybody's happy when that shit comes out. But when it comes down to your personal space, right? It's like, well, I need to hold on to that. You can't hold on to that, guys. You just can't hold on to that. So many of you are actually feeling it's like a pulling out, because everything has to be shown. So, good morning, guys. Why do I feel late with life? And if I mispronounce your name, I'm so sorry. Urjana. Why do I feel late with life? Lost. Well, right now, basically what I just talked about previously, and maybe that's why I picked you, and then we'll go to Instagram, is because the reason why you feel late or lost is like you've always felt that way. You've always been misplaced or disconnected, because you live in your headspace, say, is in one reality. Your being is in one reality, and then you have another reality. So think of it. You're always kind of like beside yourself. The real essence of you is behind you, and then to the right of you, and then what you display, in physical form is here. So you're watching yourself basically live life. Does that make sense to you? Kind of like a third person. And as you do that, well, with XI, the more and more you become awake, the more you get pulled further and further and further, apart. And that's a good thing for you, again, because with XI. So the reason being is that you're starting to see that you're two different identities. The reason why you did that was because, well, seems like you were never good enough, never complete enough. And basically you copied patterns of, I don't know, your mom or dad, but kind of a pseudo feminine frequency. I can't tell because your mom wasn't really a woman and your dad wasn't really a man. So can't quite tell where it's a merging of the two. And they were never felt good enough. So it's like, fuck, I'm never going to feel good enough. So you created your real identity, or your essence of what you could be, and then whatever you showed in the world. So with that, what I'm doing is just merging the two of you, and one of you has to die. So it is a dying or death experience for you, by the way, which is good. So which one do you want to die? I can't help you with that. Obviously, you want the one that is the best possible you, no matter what you think. It can't happen, whatever. Stick with, say, the higher possibilities of you, because you sell yourself short as well. Okay? For Facebook, Ida Pudlis, I would love a scan. Sure. Ida. You say passionate, or you try to be passionate, but then you can never be. You kind of like, it's not like you fake it. By the way, although some people might go, oh, she's faking it, or she's not really intense, and that's why I say that. Or you're really, say, interested in something or someone, and then they go, and you've probably lost a lot of, say, possibilities, whether it's work relationships or intimate type relationships or close friends. Is that, well, we didn't pick her because she didn't seem interested. So that kind of feel. So why is that? Because you're always behind time. Time is like a moving train, right? It's constant. It's always constant. It never varies. Although scientists think we can expand time, contract time. No, it's just how you see time. Time is always consistent. That makes sense to you? Again, the expansion, contraction is how you view it through your lenses. So for you, time is here, and then you're here, and then that vivaciousness that you want, or that desire that you always have, is like, shit, if I can only, and you're almost there all the time. So it's just like, it's so far, and you can almost reach it, but you can never grab onto it. Okay, so it's an easy fix, actually, probably because of what you've done with exponential intelligence. So let's just put you back into time. All of you, let's take a deep breath in. Just notice where you are, because that's the most important thing. Deep down, no matter what your issues are, it's always about disconnect of present moment. Okay, that's the only place where you have, focus in on your throat area, upper chest. That's the only place you have abilities to create, master, become abundant. It's not past, it's not in the future. You can learn from the past, and obviously from the future, if you can access it. As you come into time, your abilities of going into the past, into the future, they're open for you. So I can help you, again, future vision, I can help you with that, and then past time. Some people have abilities to expand into different realities, different possibilities. You have abilities to expand into the future, and expand into the past. So there we go. By the way, you might feel disoriented as you come in, but it'll be that. So whatever that you're feeling in front of you is now inside you. Just comment back. I think you can actually feel it now. It's just like an expansive state. You're not in another reality. You're basically in time. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. This one. Child services, working with niece and nephews. I haven't seen them in 9 weeks. Abusive parents won't allow. Yeah. So for you, unfortunately, again, as you start to awaken, so whoever you are, CP Life 123. So yeah, for you, what happens is, the world awakens, right? And people get insecure. And then when people get insecure, whether it's at an individual level, whether it's your sister or brother, whether it's at a government level, whatever it is, people get insecure, right? So they stick on to whatever they believe in, right? No matter what it is, religions, belief systems, abuse patterns. For example, if people run abuse patterns, that's what makes them feel safe, which is really, really strange. So, for example, people who aren't awakened, not XI people, but you're going to deal with non-XI people, right? They're people who are not awakened. So, say, for example, they run abuse patterns because whether they're abusing or they're getting abused, what happens is that, the world becomes more transparent. The only way they feel safe is to be abused or abuse. So what do? Unfortunately, they get abused or abused. So that's what's happening in your reality. The good thing is that, those things are breaking apart. So your kid, not your kids, your nephew or niece, whoever they are, they're part of you. Keep bringing them into the 18 days, bringing them into whatever that you do with me, or on the XI say thread. You always bring them in. Right? And then those individuals, especially when they're younger, you don't want to bring older people in that are kind of distorted. You want to keep them outside of your space, your personal space, which is arm's length around you. So for you, hon, just keep bringing them in, and those say tormented experiences for them, because you can't will turn into, say, a blessing or a benefit as they age. Okay? Because obviously, you can't say pull people out of the situation, especially as this chaos, opens up. People are going to go through some dark times, but it's not the situation that makes you or breaks you. It's what you believe about the situation. If you don't believe me, look at Viktor Frankl. He's the guy in the concentration camp. He came out more, say, amazingly awakened. Although physically, yes, he went through a lot of shit, but then awakened at the higher level, right? So help him, other people in this lifetime, and then as he crosses over. So that's where you want to concentrate on. Okay. Again, guys, as this world, creates chaos, and even say, for example, wars back in the day. There's a war here right now, and it's not right now. It's just an advanced war. It's not about guns in other countries or other religions. It's a war on, say, controlling the masses. So as those things come through, you want to, again, stay awakened as you go through the process. How can I get my healing abilities up to your speed? Really good question. And again, that's on Instagram Live. How can I get my healing abilities up to your speed? Well, imagine that I get a lot of practice. I work on maybe 100 people individually a day. That's a hell of a lot of practice, right? So over the years, over the decade, thousands of years, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, one-on-one, not just like, there's a lot of, self-improvement people. They go, well, I've worked on millions of people. Sure you have, in group settings. Of course, but then individually, you start reading, you start analyzing, and that's a lot of data to process. You start to come up, you start to understand things at a deeper level. So practice, keep doing the XI, human mastery, which is coming up. Those things show up for you. The cool thing about it all is that you guys are lucky. I've created, say, this path. Other people behind me, their abilities are awakening as well. So that path is it's not well worn, but it's starting to get worn. So for those individuals who are new, it's easier and easier. The children of the next generation, they're just going to go, well, shit, this is my abilities. That's just the way it's always been. And obviously it's not, right? So those children, it makes it easier. So for all of you, how you increase your abilities, again, is to start analyzing you first. It's number one, and stay solid, complete, centered within yourself. And then as you start to analyze you, or stay in within you, you start to analyze other people and how they work. Okay? You don't have to work on them, but just start analyzing, people that you see on TV, people in in your physical life, and then other essences around you. Whoever said that, you have a way of, say, understanding what's happening in and around you before it happens. So I can help you with those abilities, and then obviously private sessions will actually do that. Okay. This one is Catherine Daideka. Scan me, please. Yeah. So, Catherine, for you, you seem to, and again, guys, if I read you, please comment back. This is on Instagram. So you seem to, always be dictated by other people's patterns, especially masculine patterns. So what happens is say your father, you basically have your father's identity. It's like, what would father think? Uh, and then, you get into your boyfriend, especially the boyfriend that you had at 17, 18. It seems like, or around that time frame, kind of a tough breakup for you. Your identity kind of left with it, or basically disconnected. And then that identity of that boyfriend, say, stuck with you. So from that moment on, from what I'm seeing, is that, you could never let go of him. So he's still part of you. So no matter what relationship you have, say, going forward, you're always thinking through, say, his eyes. Unfortunately, you're a woman, or you feel like very feminine. So anyway, what happens is that, and I say that because sometimes you go, well, I might be bi, or I might be a lesbian. You're not. It's just that you have this masculine identity like smacked into you because you lost your identity through, say, this tragedy, if you want to call it. On the flip side, though, say if you were awakened and that happened to you, you would, say, peel off the distortions of who you are if you did it right. And I'm not saying you did it wrong, but not the best way to do it. You would peel off that distortions, and then a new huge version of you would come out. So that's how you would use tragedy, negative emotions, negative experiences, and so on. But again, most of the time, almost all the time, about 99% of the time, people, they get impacted by that in the wrong way because they're not awakened quite right yet. So this, for example, what you would do is, people wouldn't trust you, especially in intimate relationships. There's always like, well, is there another guy that she's dating or sensing? Because again, it is an essence. And for you, you would feel, say, a little masculine, as you would, say, be in intimate situations or relationships. And well, that's why relationships, say, doesn't feel complete. That's why you don't feel complete. You feel like a separate being, especially if you did XI, or that you're doing XI, because that identity is, once it was meshed in you back in your late teens. Now it's like it's coming apart. It's and then so now you might feel that there's two of you, and there is your old self, and then you might have memories, dreams, and so on of your teenage years, as you go back and, say, reheal yourself the proper way to expand. Okay, so you're on the right tracks in this session. Again, peeling that old identity of whoever you gravitated to, and then this is where you, again, guys, XI is a tool. It's like surgery. Okay, so you can't hold on to your old garbage. You peel it away. So obviously, if that is, say, removed from you, you can't use it anymore. So you would have to create or render your own identity. This is a great opportunity for you to. This is a great opportunity for you to really, say, make your own rules. Okay, so your next phase is notice everything that you do. Okay, everything that you think of, and start to notice, is it your old self or your new self? Okay. By the way, you might have blanks, memory blanks, and so on like that. Not that your memory is going bad. It's just that identity that you had is deleted, so you can't access those memories that was part of that identity until later on. So again, XI is a science, guys. It's not a feel-good space. It is. I don't want to. I'll take that back. It is a feel-good space, but you have to get rid of the garbage because XI won't allow you to enter into that feel good space with all the garbage that you have. It's just a no no. Okay. You can't do that. Let's go back to YouTube. And what we'll do for Instagram, guys, at 10:45, Moss on Sundays, that comes, which is how do I keep him and her? And then the science behind relationships is that we'll restart Instagram Live because it cuts off. And then at the end, you guys are left blank. So for Instagram Live, we're going to disconnect at 10:45 and then reset. Okay. And then so just join back in when I reconnect you. Um, Oops, people are coming in. Hamas, please scan me, help me with relationships, attract my future, that special person. Thanks. Sure. So Nilo Bear 135. So sure, sometimes when we go through XI, from what I'm seeing, for example, your old patterns, especially as say the reality, crushes down upon us, your old patterns, like I said earlier, those things, really ramp up. So for you, you've done, there's, seems like there's been a lot of changes for you from what I'm seeing. And then now you're getting to a pivotal point. It's like you can't run your old patterns. You can't run your old life. So what do? Do you choose door A or do you choose door B, the new you? So basically in this quick session is I'm helping you walk across the hall. There's your old life. There's a new life right across the hall. So you're in that, say, you're walking out of your old life and coming into that new, but it's scary for you. Right? It's everything's new. And in the past, your security blanket was latching on to somebody. If I found X, person X, then I'll be safe. I'll be happy. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for you in the past that way. So you're wanting that again. So and there's nothing wrong with wanting a relationship, guys. There's nothing wrong with wanting a relationship, but the reason why you want that relationship. So for you, you want security. So your relationship or connecting to, and I'll work on you, Vladimir, next on Facebook. So for you, the reason why is because you're feeling in that mid space. So until that disappears, until you're like, hey, I'm freaking confident, complete on my own. I'm good to go. I really don't need anybody. That kind of feeling. Okay. And then when you're solid and when you're complete like that, what will happen for you is, well, that's when you're just happy naturally. Okay. And then that's when you really want to, that you'll attract that right person. Otherwise, you're running your old patterns of the past where you're always going to be needy and you're always going to be submissive like your old relationships. So your old relationships are peeling away. Okay. This one is Vladimir Rubik or Royik. Sorry. Hi, I'm new. Scan me, please. Sure. So for you, my friend, you seem like Vladimir. It's a masculine name. You seem like feminine to me, or really sensitive. Okay. So, and again, I could be, I could be off on your physical sex. But again, there's a lot of femininity in you. So whoever, masculine, female, basically what's happening is that the worries of your mom, the worries of female frequencies. Okay, so your mom is not just your mom. It's just like a group of, say, women that your mom has become, or basically buried herself in all their worries. So family worries, let's just say, especially the female version. So, generation after generation, that worry just gets handed down, and then they add their own worry, and then it gets bigger and bigger. So your mom doesn't know what to do. Your father's not around or whatever. Even if he is, doesn't seem like they're there. So you're that next person that, that she depends on. And basically over time, that feminine frequency has, say, pushed into you. So your worries, her worries basically have become your worries. In fact, if you look at your life, a lot of your worries or a lot of your problems, if you really look at it, Vladimir, is not yours. So what I'm doing is like separating it, where you can take inventory of whose problems these are. They do become yours because you get, you absorb into, um, especially females. And it doesn't have to be female, but female frequency. So most of your friends would be masculine friends. Male friends would be, say, of a feminine nature or need that support mechanism. You're basically a support mechanism for people, if you want to look at it that way. So you want to, in this quick session, just really like separating all other people's problems and then your problems, and you'll soon see that it's like, shit, I have very few problems compared to, all the things that I thought I had, because you're absorbing other people's problems. Say, for example, somebody has hip issues, which I see that they do. You'll have hip issues and it's just like, shit, I gotta go to the doctor. It's not your hip issues. And then the doctor will go, hey, you're totally fine. Because you are, but you render yourself through other people's problems. That's why, again, their problems become yours. So in this case, you push people away. You might not like people and so on like that. That's where you want to be, because it's not you're pushing them away. It's just that how you handle yourself. You're not going to take on other people's problems. And it's a quick fix for you, guys, by the way. Let's take a deep breath in. What time is it? 10:46. All right, guys. So what we'll do, we'll jump into Mass on Sundays, all right, guys, and then we'll answer, say, the bigger questions on relationships coming up. So on Instagram, guys, I'm gonna end this session for you, and then I'll start another session right back. That way, you can stay online towards the end. All right. So just give me a second here. And then for you guys on Facebook, guys, just give me a second. All right. Facebook and so while they're reconnecting, I'll just read some more people. This is Alexandra. Physically ill since July 7th. Can you scan me, please? Completed 18 days in July. Yeah. So again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. However, seems like when I tap into, there's a lot of loss. Yeah, there's a lot of loss in your family. If that makes sense to you. A lot of loss, lots of burdens. Why is that? So the underlying value is that your family holds on to death. So if you look at it, especially when you were younger, they would always talk about, oh, Uncle Joe, he had a tragic life. Too bad, because he was such a good person. That kind of pattern, But anyway, it's just like people of the past. Okay? You guys are always running from the past. It's never like in the future. No matter how good it is, the past was always better for you. Although the past wasn't that great for you, but you guys color it, or basically you're afraid of going into the future. So now, and then back then as well, I want to say around your early teens, 10, 11, 12, around that time frame. And again, comment back, please. Not for my benefit, because I know I'm accurate, but for the new people reading this, or listening in. So around that time, somebody died, or somebody had a nervous breakdown, or somebody had depressed, or somebody didn't want to be here. Oh, that's you. Okay. So yeah, so that's you. Eating disorders, and maybe eating disorders. Anyway, so yeah, that's you. So just give me a second. So yeah, let's take a deep breath in, guys. So, and again, that's not you, but I mean, that's your life experience. So all that worries and so on like that, you go, shit, I don't want to go forward in life anymore if this is the way life is going to be. Okay. So, which is sad, right? As a young kid, especially going into puberty. And then as you go into puberty, well, if you're stopping time or kicking your heels, kicking your heel, digging your heels in, and you're not going forward in time. This is where, say, malfunctioning of your body structure happens. So for you, your illness and so on, you so with XI, you did the July, 18-day. So the good thing about that, and again, it's not because you did XI and you got ill, it's because you did XI and all your distortions, garbage and so on like that, came out. Okay? And sometimes people get ill and so on to recover. That's why they do. Or sometimes your issues might get worse, and then you go to a doctor and they go, "Oh shit, it's so obvious now," and then you recover. Either way, so for you, your issue is time function. So you might be, say, in your mid 30s or or later, you live. Say I see you in your mid 30s, but you could probably be like 40s or 50s, because again you pull back time. So your body thinks it's like, hey. I'm in my 30s, but why am I aging like I'm in my 40s or 50s? And again, I could be off on the time frame, but basically you get the gist. So now let's just like set you in. So the reason why you're sick is basically your body's trying to refigure or reset itself to where you should be. Okay. And then you get to let go. So, what I was going to say is that, say you did XI and then all the shit came up and you got, you got ill as a cause of, say, detox. It's a good thing that happened now, because as you age, your body functions and all those things, you would have had that and you would have been stuck with that. So might as well get it done when you're, younger, and get it over with and get it resolved. So, okay, so nice job. A lot of you, again, especially if you're doing the frequency spa, reverse aging and so on, some of you will kind of feel older than that. Illnesses will show up, not because it's not a detriment. Basically, it's like, hey, you've got this program running that you're going to have, hip issues and so on. And I'm just giving you an example. Hip issues. When you're in your 70s, just like your mom, that could be you, whoever. Yeah, it probably is. It's like, do you want this, or do you want to delete it and have another pattern that you're going to run into, or another, like a healthier version where you don't have to have hip issues in your 70s. So people doing the frequency spa, or people getting ready to do it, which is later today, by the way, especially if you listen to my talk. A lot of science behind it. It's really cool. So you might be detoxing or going through that process already. So really nice job. So most of you are back on Instagram. Welcome back. Welcome to Moss on Sundays, guys. So what we'll do, Moss on Sundays, this topic is on relationships. And it's like, what do I have to do to keep them? And this actually came up from a client. It's like, that just started working with me, and, and her identity was based on, say, other people, other individuals. And as you go through XI, obviously, your identity comes forth, right? Your identity comes forth, and it's like, and then your insecurities come through. So as your, insecurities come through, it's like, shit, I need that person more. So what do I have to do to keep him and her? So it's a really valid question, and nobody really asks or wonders, like, wait a second, why do I need to keep him and her? Because I'll give you another storyline, and again, real story. It's like, I tap into this, I have a session, I tap into this woman, and I go, well, do you get, abused and stuff, physically abused, and mentally abused in your relationship? She goes, yeah. Sometimes she actually gets, black eyes and stuff like that in the relationship. And, it's kind of like disconcerting for me. It's like, what the, and to me, just logically, it's like, what the fuck are you just staying in that relationship for? So, and interestingly enough, for those individuals, for her, and there's a lot of you out there, you would go, Moss, deep down inside, I know that person loves me. I know that person loves me. He might have some issues. So what do I do to keep them? And that kind of just floors me. It's like, holy shit. And you'd go to other self-improvement, and it's like, well, you would do this and you would do this to keep them. But I'm asking you, why the hell would you keep them? right? And even so, that's an extreme version, and I'm giving you the extreme version first because many of you are running, say, just a watered down version of that extreme version that I gave you. Basically, you crave abuse. Simply, the reason why you want to keep, or what do I have to do to keep him and her, is because you crave abuse. And it's not that you crave abuse. And some of you are going, fuck, that's not me. This guy's full of bullshit, especially if it hurts you when I said that, especially if you're new. And it's like, it's like, damn, it's like, how can he say that, right? Because I'm that nice person, I'm this and this, and now he's blaming me for the abuse that I have. Guys, I'm not saying that I'm blaming you. It's just that you have this condition. I call it a programming that allows you, forces you, for you not to be complete on your own. You're not complete on your own. So what do? Right? Imagine yourself, especially those people who run this pattern. What do I do to keep him or her? What do? Right? You're drowning, right? You're drowning in a relationship. So if they leave, basically, that's your, rubber duck that's going to save you, your inflatable that's going to save you. Uh, and it doesn't matter how abusive that person is. It doesn't matter how nice that person is. That's not the point. And I just want to stress, it's not the point. I don't know how much I'll look at all three cameras, guys. It's not the point that you're there. Some of you go, well, fuck, he beats the shit out of me and I still love him. No, you don't. Okay. You do not love that person. You don't know what love is. And that's another thing. In this reality, people don't know what love is, unfortunately. So you're drowning. Okay. When you're drowning, what happens? A piece of wood floats by, a piece of plastic floats by, I don't know, a puffer fish that's poisonous with spikes pass by. You will grab anything to save your ass. Straight out. It's not about love. It's not about, well, I can heal him, because a lot of, especially women, it's like, shit, that guy's really fucked up, but I can heal him. You really can't. You're trying to heal the damage or repair the damage that you've experienced. Okay, those people that you attract that are, say, distorted and broken and alcoholic and so on like that. Those types of, and then women go, well, I can heal him. He's got a lot of problems, but he just needs love and nurturing. No, you need love and nurturing. They don't need love and nurturing. It's just that you never received it. So it's like, shit, I need love and nurturing. So you're going to give it. Unfortunately, you're giving more of yourself. You're not pulling that in, unfortunately. So let's take a deep breath in, and we'll turn it into, say, a meta healing. If you're new, meta healing is where I guide you into deep states of meditation. The closest thing I can relate to, or you can relate to, although it's not a meditation, it's a deprogramming. And then it's a self-healing, so meta healing or metamorphosis, because it's not a healing, it's a transformation from your old identity to a brand new identity. So again, noticing your chest, noticing your heart space. Okay. And then for those people who have that pattern, what do I do to keep him or her? What do I have to do to keep this relationship intact? What do I have to do? And it's not just relationships. Look at your life. Those people running that, especially if it's that need-based. Okay. Again, you're in that drowning mode. Or if not, you're not in that drowning mode. It's like, well, I can kind of keep myself afloat, but I need extra help to stay afloat because it's easier because I'm tired out. I'm tired of life, right? Or a little less. It's like, hey, I can stay here good from some time, but I just need somebody there, just in case I start drowning or get tired. So whichever way, again. It's just different, say, versions of it, right? Kind of like a dimmer switch, extreme down to, say, the least. It's all the same pattern, just different, say, intensities. So let's take a deep breath in. Again, notice. Oh yeah, and it's not. It's not just about intimate relationship, family value structure, business relationships, investing. Some of you who invest and so on. Basically, what you're doing is like, what do I have to give up right here of myself? Because you're giving up your essence, your presence, your spirit. Okay, you're giving that up to hold on to something that's not of value to you. So you're trading, say, pure, you know, 24 karat gold. That's you. That's your purity that you have inside, no matter what you believe, no matter how distorted you are. Some of you, you're pure 24 karat gold, but you've got a lot of crust around you. That gold is mid-buried. And it's like, shit, this isn't worth anything. So what am I going to exchange to have something of value? And then your definition of value is usually you would attract abuse pattern distortions, just a bad seed, basically, right? So it's like they're better off, or I can heal them by the gold that I have. So I'm just going to push that into them. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So you basically exchange your worth for their distortions to heal yourself. Okay. So, and then what happens? Your worth goes down. Their value goes up. Does that make sense to you? Your worth goes down. Their value goes up. In the drowning experience, you're holding on to that person, that identity, but they're not saving you. They're not saving your ass. You're drowning. They're floating up because you just gave them your essence. They go higher. So it's like, oh shit, they're even better than me, especially, when that point of break comes through. So let's take another deep breath in. Notice your neck area. All the chains around you, by the way. That's why I say that. A lot of you might feel a heaviness or that bond. There we go. So as your value goes down, again, deeper drowning, you're going to want, you'll sacrifice anything to keep them. Okay? Again, I'm giving you an extreme version, but somewhere in between. So, and that's how most relationships are, by the way. What do I have to give up in order to get the blessings of a good relationship? More money, a better job, better health. What do I have to give up? That's the problem. You don't have to give up. You are all that you are. Right? What do I have to resonate with? Let's say. That's a better version. You're not drowning. You just got a lot of garbage on you. Take a deep breath in again. And notice the insecurity or that peace that is not being fulfilled within you. Your head, the neck, heart area, the groin area. A lot of women hold on to men or guys, and just, you offer them sex. It's like, well, if I have sex with them, I'll keep them. How well has that worked for you? And then notice your identity. You feel like a failure or a loser, or like shit. That didn't even keep them. So you don't blame them for their insecurities and their lack of commitment. You blame yourself. It's like, well, I'll show more cleavage. I'll show more, tits, ass, or whatever that you need, right, to attract other men even more. Well, it doesn't work out that way. Okay, guys do it the other way. I'll make more money, and then I'll just keep buying her shit, and then she'll stay. Same thing. So let's take a deep breath in again, noticing your spine. So those are time-based methods of holding on to somebody. Time-based methods. You have a flotation device. Okay. And you might hear my kids in the background. Sorry about that. But anyway, time-based methods of holding on to somebody, right? I'll change my attitude. I'll be somebody else that they want to be. I'll buy them shit. I'll have more sex with them. I'll be, looser, or whatever you want to call it, or anything in between, right? I'll take care of them. So basically what it is that, you've got an inflatable that's saving your ass. You've got an inflatable and then over time that inflatable actually has a hole in it. So basically, what happens is that you start sinking, and then you start blowing. You start, say, blowing your own essence into that inflatable to, again, inflate that so they can save you. But then you get heavier because you blew your essence into that, right, inner tube or whatever. Do you see what I'm trying to get at? So in a session or in this talk, let's take a deep breath in. And as a note, this isn't just about, say, personal or intimate relationships. Okay? This pattern runs deep. So this is where I just want to talk about, say, fear for a little bit. Because, government mechanisms or whoever, whether, again, it's that individual, the intimate person, it could be your father, it could be your mom, your kids, whatever. If you're running that pattern, they'll use that, and then you'll go higher up, the deep state, government mechanisms, your boss, corporations, and so on, media, ads, and so on. They'll use that fear because you need someone to latch onto. They'll use that as a control mechanism upon you. So it'll not just work on, like, relationships, personal ones, but then everything else, because you don't need anything or anyone to fulfill you. You need somebody to enhance you. That's what you want. So notice where that pain or distortion came out. Notice where it feels. Notice what or how it feels like. For many of you, you might feel the chains around you, around your neck, or you might feel a void. So you kind of void here, which is unusual in relationships. Mostly it's in your throat, heart, or groin area. So if you're, say, feeling of emptiness right now, like a good number of you are, especially women, yeah, especially women. So what do? You need to fulfill that emptiness. Again, giving of yourself, having more sex, craving sex, although it's like abusive sex. That's why it's abusive, by the way. So you'll do anything to keep that person to have sex because it'll make you feel good initially or during the process. And then afterward, it's like a bigger void. So helping you close that void up. For men, it's the other way around. If you have a void in that space, what'll happen for you is that you'll feel insecure. So you become, say, the female. And then the female in your relationships becomes the male. Or sometimes you might be thinking that you're bisexual and stuff like that. So, and you're not chromosome wise. There's nothing wrong if you are. But again, a lot of men in that pattern, there's just a void there that needs to be filled. The point is that there's a void that needs to be filled. Got it? Right? So let's take a deep breath in. Obviously very different than most relationship talks. What do I do to keep this guy? And it's like all this fluffy bullshit stuff that doesn't help you. I mean, it helps later on, but not where most of us are at. A strong breath in again. For those feelings, say those chains, the burdens upon you. How can relationships work if you resonate with these burdens? Again, they're heavy. Imagine that you're swimming with chains on you. It's not going to work out well for you. You're going to need a lot of support. That's why you need a lot of support around you. So people like that go through, say, relationship after relationship, one after another, whether they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. You can't hold on to a relationship. And the more relationships you have, the faster you burn through them, because it's like, shit, this isn't going to keep me afloat. This one's not, this one's not, this one's not. That makes sense to you. So why would you keep that person, right? Take a deep breath in again. So maybe, again, a void in a hole. Literally, I see, holy shit, I see so many voids or incompleteness, especially for probably a lot of the newer people. So in your heart space, you'll give of your essence, you'll give of your children. This is where shit, dark, dark shit comes out, guys, in this group here. And it's good, it's coming out. Okay. And I'm not blaming you, but it's a perpetuation of society, human consciousness. It's going down the shithole, basically. But the good thing is, again, this reality, what I'm about is cleaning this out so your brilliance can come through. So people like that avoid, and again, extreme versions of this is that they give of themselves. And again, I say give of their children. So basically, say that you get divorced, you have kids, right? Especially women, you have kids. And then you connect with another guy, and then that guy say abuses your kids, or you exchange them. Sometimes that they have the guy has sex with your kids and stuff, and you just turn the other way because you need that void fulfilled. So again, logically, and some of you who aren't in that position go, what the fuck? That's really fucked up, right? How can anybody do that? Well, if you have a void, you're always trying to save your own self, no matter what it is in this reality. That's why I always say, save yourself first, then you can save humanity. What happens is that you'll do anything to hold on to that void. That's why shit like that happens. Although you might think at a logical level, like, how can that person do that? Aren't they smart enough? Aren't they intelligent enough? The most intelligent people in the world, they have the credentials, they have the success, they're fucked up. So, and you'll see that coming out, by the way. So strong, deep breath in. On why you would want to keep him or her. I scan through you. And again, the heaviness, the darkness that you're feeling, guys, it's not me. It's all your garbage that's coming out. If you don't like it, again, you can choose to subscribe or not subscribe. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm here for those individuals who really want to transform and have the power, the gumption to change. So again, it's not me. It's not my darkness. It's all your shit coming out. So if you're afraid of that, okay, face it and then go forward with it. Okay. If you're afraid of that, and it's going, no, it's me. Great. Disconnect and then live your life. Live your crappy ass life. So take a deep breath in and then wonder why your life is like that. Notice the headspace, especially if there's voids or if you feel like an emptiness or a vortex in that space. Those types of individuals, very interesting. Control physically or at a presence level, a higher presence consciousness. So you say get dictated. You're the type of individual that might get into guru type mentalities where the gurus abuse you and so on like that, or government or whoever, the bigger control mechanisms control you, fear space and so on. So notice how you're feeling. So all this garbage comes out. Again, it's your garbage that you're seeing as you separate from it. I can't stress that enough. Some of you might go, well, shit, I've done so much work on myself. That can't be my garbage. Well, if it resonates with you, if it's familiar with you, it's your garbage. You're just, again, awakening to it. If I sound like a broken record, guys, people have different ways of looking at things or hearing things or listening to things. So I have to say it in multiple ways. Okay? For those who are XIers, you understand that. It's like, because people have these filters. So no matter how clear I say it, right, they'll have that filters it to what they want to hear. So, many of you are coming to that ability as well, by the way. There we go. So as you come in, even now, so for those individuals going, hey, when can I fight my twin flame? What do I do to keep him or her Are you really wanting to keep him or her right now? That's where you want to be. Hell no. A lot of you are going, like, what the hell was I thinking of, right? So even now, it's like those changes for you. Stay with it. Don't get sucked into those old patterns. Don't get sucked into those insecurity patterns and so on like that. Stay with that new identity, no matter how much you're drowning or feel like you're drowning or you need that person or situation. Stay with your new self. Say no, right? And then in a very short time, you'll render yourself and you'll learn how to swim on your own and float beautifully down the river of life, right? Enjoying the view rather than struggling to stay up. And I say that because many of you see the opportunities as you're going down, say, the river of life, right? It's like, God, so beautiful out there, but why the hell am I drowning? I just explained the reason why. So again, allow yourself, say, to drown. For some of you, it's the death space. Allow your old self to drown, your new self to come up. Take a deep breath in again. For many of you, it's the beginning of peeling or shedding away those layers. For people who've been here before, it's more of an expansion of understanding your relationships. So as you come into your sense of self, redefining the relationship so you don't attract, the old burning patterns. And then for those who are advanced, nice job understanding the key mechanisms of relationships, right? The nuances, the details of what makes a timeless, as I call it, relationship. Those couples, they're 80 years old and they're still holding hands and they feel like kids, right? They still have romance, they still have sex, sensuality, right? There we go. Breath in again. Whoa. So again, I ask you, the relationships that you've had in the past, that you tried everything to keep, or the current relationship that you're trying to keep, do you really want to keep them? Probably not. The reason is because, well, you're deserving of more. You see the bigger, grander version of who you are, right? And that's what you want to keep. There we go. Notice how you're feeling. Notice those voids, wherever they might have been. How are they feeling? So again, like I said, to keep those voids or to heal those voids completely, I can only show you how it feels. To keep this feeling that you are. And again, some of you are feeling stronger on the inside as you get disillusioned on the outside, but so focus in on the inside. You would have to confirm your deletion. So if a situation comes up where you're, say, not getting treated right or whatever it might be, and it doesn't feel right, stand up, speak up, say something. Don't run a victim pattern like some of you do. Okay. So you have to take action to confirm the programming that I helped you with. It's your programming, not mine. It's just a higher version of who you are. There we go. As we end, guys, taking a deep breath in. For those who can stay in this space, highly recommend it. Tell your friends about you, about Moss on Sundays. We're going to get into the deeper details, deeper relationship tactics, what love is about, mind control, those things. Tools that you need to survive this new reality that's out there. Okay. Again, the reality is what it is. Successful individuals take advantage of this opportunity that's coming up for us. Not so successful people will get trashed. Right. The best you. So if you Google best you Los Angeles, LA, I'll be speaking. I'll be speaking later today on how to turbocharge any self-improvement method that you've done in the past or currently using, no matter what it is. And then also wealth DNA. That's coming up Tuesday on the Best You. Today, frequency spa on reverse aging. If you didn't see the free talk, you might want to check that out. It's really, I guess, mind-blowing as far as, the possibilities of what we can do in science. So take a look at that as well. Not sure exactly where it is. So contact customers at sajady.com or take a look at the website. I think it should be there somewhere. But again, if you can't find it, we'll put it out there for you, or contact customers and we'll get it out for you. Until then, guys, private sessions open up next week as well. And then some of you are looking for industrial group healings. That's going to be coming out soon. So, all right, guys. Again, notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you're noticing, and follow me on Facebook, especially YouTube, because we'll be putting more stuff on. This is a peace sign. This is not a peace sign. This is victory, by the way, which is basically war. You won over somebody. World peace. That's what we want. Okay, guys. See you.